Okay, welcome back, everybody. It is Tuesday. We had a successful trade day the other day with 7 cents made. 62 trade investment, 62-cent trade investment. Um, I posted a picture, like I said before, on the previous video, detailing what happened here. Because we entered here and we left out here. We actually hit our take profit where we set it. Let's go ahead and hit the 30-minute right quick, look at what happened. So, well, that this is not a good representation, so we're going to go to 5, keep it nice and simple, right? Because we entered on the 1, right? Off of a, what was it, inverse for value gap? Yeah, inverse for value gap here. We inverted this one here. We entered on the long because we got it, and then we saw it right up. We had our take profit set here, price hit it, and kept going. We missed out on a decent amount. I'm not ashamed of missing out on this leg up because prior, I could zoom all the way out here. I could go all the way this way. There is nothing over here telling me, and you can see each one of these bars loading. That's the chart going back. There is nothing over here saying price was going to go that high. Okay, just so we're on the same page. Absolutely nothing. Up until this point right here, outside of the confluences found within this, said price was going to go higher. Absolutely nothing. So I'm not ashamed of hitting this and missing out on this. I'm not. I made 7 cents. That was my goal. That was kind of what I was hoping for, and I got it. Modesty. Humble in profit taking. I'll do that before everything else. That's essentially what happened, though. We hit our take profit, and it continued higher. I took a picture, I think, roughly in this right here, detailing. I think I took it on the hour. Either the hour or the 30-minute. I can't remember. I took a picture, put it to the community post on Orb Plus. You can literally do that on my channel page. Just head over to posts or community or whatever the tab's name is, and you'll see that picture I put there. It's the only one like it. And yeah, it depicts this, like from this right here this way, as to what price did while we were away and the video was uploading. And yeah, we saw it continue higher. But luckily for us, because we chose to take our take profit way over here, right? Yes, we missed out on this leg up, but we also missed out on leg down, leg down. Yikes, reversal, right? I'm happy. I'm happy with that trade. I'm happy with that trade. Let's move on. From there, we had breaker block form, failed order block to break structure, right? It didn't continue up higher. Instead, we got a repeat move and then an order block there that closed within this new setup of breaker block, break of structure, inverse for value gap on this candle here. I even marked it, I think. Did I mark it on this? No, I marked it on this one right here. We identified, this is the hour, this is the, yep, this was our entirety of our breaker block. This was the order block. This was the order block that failed. Repeat breaker block, so I included it in the one big confluence here because it was all within its own range. It kept closing within its range, confirming itself that yes, it is a thing. But we got an order block that was also a doji. Major indecision, and because it failed to break structure back up to the upside, instead, we got a doji saying indecisiveness, and that from the previous candle, we'd see it move down. We got a break of structure off this low, then an inverse fair value gap down here, sweep of this fair value gap in particular, and then continuation following all the way down. That being the case, moving on from literally all of this, I can probably just, yeah, I could delete this. Can you tell I'm not familiar with TradingView's controls? That was my first time using the pen. So that's the thing. Let's go this way. Boom, boom, boom. Yay. Hello. Up there. We're going to be marking that here soon. Let's go ahead and mark this. What's happening? Sure. We'll let that continue playing. That was much louder than I thought it was going to be. From this liquidity sweep, we had a retrace up. I thought it was going to be a failed retrace, like another setup for a breaker block, right? So we had retrace, reaction, close within. Cool. The next move was up, right? And it closed within this. Breaker block setup. Cool. Order block doji. Doesn't know what it wants to do. And it's a hammer. So continuation down. From this order block, we got, boom, sweep of this high here. Okay. Move down. Move back up. Sweep of that high. Continuation of this general move from here to here. Which is cool. I'm guessing because it closed within the range of this break of structure, that it was a repeat breaker block that this occurred with. Or, I'm sorry, this in general was a breaker block that formed because this closed within this. It did not break structure, continuing higher, though we were in an uptrend at this point, right? This would have been considered our breaker block, and then or order block. Sorry, not breaker block. This would have been order block because it was a move up that caused move down, break of structure out of this uptrend, forcing it to go lower. Of course, we have fair value gaps in between all of this, so it's going to continue lower beyond that. So we see it doing just that. We see like down, move up, down, close within, breaker block. This down was our order block. I keep saying order block when I mean breaker block, and then the reverse. Breaker block setup, order block, sweep of the highs, break of structure, we're an uptrend. Oh no, what happened? We're now in a downtrend. The general trend was down. Repetition. So, order block, sweep of the lows off of this. From this sweep, we see a huge trough, if you will. We have not broke structure yet, though we have created a new high on London session that we are now looking at. If this ends in a down move and it closes, that'll be the new high for London session that we're looking at. No inverse for value gaps within this. Not literally not one inverse for value gap within any of this right here. So retrace potentially. If it closes above this, it will be a break of structure out of this, in which case we'll see I'm trying to think. This might be an order block here to continue on down. I meant it that time. I think it might be an order block. Also, I know it's hard to see. So this is the S&P on the 30-minute, right? I think it's these two. Either these two or these two that are doji candles and are like impossible to see what exactly is going on. This one's the doji. This is like, I cannot, like I've zoomed into that. Cannot tell if that's an up or down move there. But trend stayed the same. Like it broke out up, and then after that breakout, it broke again, all to the downside, and then it troughed up. Actually curious. Let's see what. Oh wait, no, I don't need to do that. I need to do this. There we go. Not seeing a fair value gap in that either. They have a retrace up, closure down, no break of structure, and it's not a new high. I think we're seeing an S&T divergence at the moment between NASDAQ and S&P because this high is higher than that on the NASDAQ. right now. I think NASDAQ is predicting the S&P because remember what I said earlier. This right here did not break structure until this candle here, right? NASDAQ is actually giving us a pretty clear picture. We have retrace up, down. Cool, this is a breaker block setup, but wait, we broke structure. Okay, order block, sweep of the high, down, up, repeat, and then boom, continuation higher. Doji candle not knowing where it wants to go, major indecision. So, of course, after we sweep this high, we don't really break structure and we don't disrespect. If we don't disrespect the fair value gap, we get right at it, closed to fill that fair value gap here, and then a push back down because there is no more imbalance within that. Breaking structure on this candle here because we broke past this low here. Wait. No, I'm wrong. This candle. We broke past again, moving down here. Now that we broke past, we're on a downtrend still. Right? No fair value gap, so no continuation lower off of this move specifically. We have a move up and nothing saying that we are actually going to continue moving up. So the current bias at the moment on NASDAQ is that we're moving down. Because the NASDAQ has painted a picture for us so far that we can reliably read this from, I'm tempted to read NASDAQ and use it to fill in the blanks this chart is having at the moment. Because, again, we pretty much compiled all this. We thought this was a breaker block. We thought this was an order block, and so sweep. When in actuality on the NASDAQ, we swept liquidity off of an order block and a failed breaker block with major indecision all throughout. And we saw the fair value gap get filled and then pushed down. We're in a downtrend. That's literally what happened here. And so the thought process is use NASDAQ to predict fair value gap. It's a tiny fair value gap on NASDAQ, but it is a big one on S&P. So we have a fair value gap saying it might continue higher. Where's it got to go though? We have a high here. Don't have anything there. Don't have anything there. We have this order block, though it's still encompassing the high. That's like encompassing the high right there. So again, this could just be a retrace. If this closes down below, we're looking for breaker block and continuation, order block out, and then continue higher. This is Asian session time, by the way. We don't care about the lows because they were all broke past on London. Market has not opened. We are far out from pre-market. I just wanted to start and really clarify what's happening here. Same story here. I mean, there's not much. So let's actually use this to our advantage right quick. Fair value gap up here. We have a small hot dog. That was not there on S&P. Up here, I know it's tiny, but it's a fair value gap nonetheless. That is an imbalance that needs to be good. Price is wanting to go there. Did we reach that here? There is no fair value gap there. It reached it for S&P, so I think it'll trade off because it filled it on S&P and then some. NASDAQ has yet to keep up to catch up to this level here, though these levels were filled by the S&P. So I imagine what's going to happen is we're going to see a retrace. It's going to form another breaker block of sorts. It'll fill this right here. This is not going to end in a fair value gap. we'll see a move down. It'll form a breaker block of sorts. And what we need to be looking for is either an order block breakout or a consolidation and then a fair value gap. Not inverting this, but showing that we are actually continuing in a downtrend. That's currently what I'm thinking is going to happen. My key level is a breaker block formation. Just so we're on the same page, just so we're looking at it the same way. The 4 hour says we are in a downtrend for this low getting broke below here, for this low getting broke below here. Same story, right? However, because they are so relatively equal and they have already been passed, this is because this is the current low. This would have been the sweep that we wanted. So it could actually continue higher from this and fill a 4 hour fair value gap. That is a strong key level. We're going to mark the bottom of that to mark that there. We have, because that's the fair value gap on the 4 hour. This is a high within this. I'd mark the bottom of that. Let's go ahead and mark the bottom, just cause. That marks the top of this fair value, the bottom of this fair value gap, and the top of this fair value gap here. Price is yet to go up that high. We have a high here. That's from an order block. Yeah. I think if we were to go in a long position, that'd be where we want to go. If price wants to continue lower, we'd have fair value gap here. We have order block here. We have previous low here. I don't know what this is. Is this 30-minute low? This is the 30-minute low outside of session highs and lows. Everything else is pretty much there. We have a strong draw on liquidity right here. Strong draw on liquidity right here. Major indecision that could get filled right there. Do we have fair value gap at any of that? We have fair value gap right here, but it's already been engulfed by that. So we're not looking for that. We have fair value gap there, though, because it's already been retested here by liquidity, and we have a strong draw within this right here, trend line lows on the lower time frames. That could be a strong pull of liquidity just within that. We have fair value gap right there. We could mark the bottom of that, though I feel like, let's go ahead and just do this right quick. Let's go ahead and delete all of this, because this right here is the low. The lowest low outside of that on the 30-minute. The hour, this is our candle. Okay. Still no fair value gaps within that. We have a low here. Let's go ahead and mark this. Just have it there, right? This is another low on the hour. On the 4 hour, we have this here. That's the low fair value gap. That's been engulfed. We have a fair value gap there, but that is so close. Like, we have a fair value gap and a low at the same point, so it could be drawn to that imbalance. Tempted to put one here. I'm going to put one here. This is extremely, extremely, extremely iffy, though. Like, that would be a strong draw on liquidity. It's super, super close. Do I think it'd be inclined to go lower? Not really, but in the event it does, we'll go ahead and mark this. In between this and this, do we have anything that would bridge it? Not really. I think this is wishful thinking. I think this is what price is going to target. And so from our current price action, what I think is going to happen, we're going to see a move up. It's actually forming a breaker block because we had a failed retrace up here, a move down, right? Which means this will need to close within this high and this low in order to move back down. When it moves back down, it's going to want to target this low, these lows, this low and this fair value gap here. Whether or not it wants to invert it, not entirely sure. Where would it want to go after? Here's my question. That's a strong draw on liquidity right there. That's seriously low compared to everything else. It might just be that. That, and we have not relative lows. They're close. They're extremely close. We have relative lows. We have fair value gap and a low here. This is from here, from this level of liquidity all the way down here is a leap, though. I get it's made that kind of leap before, but that is from here to here. That's a massive leap. I know this is going to be a final take profit if we hit it. Do I think it's a... I think it's potential. This is the 4 hour. Let's see. We have... Order block, sweep at the high, retrace, failed retrace, move up, closure within the high and the low, order block. We're going to grab the bottom of this order block here because it sweeps that high. We're going to grab that just in case. And then the bottom of this breaker block here. This is what really ties it in, I think. This would encompass that fair value gap as well. Fair value gap right there. I think this is from this right here down, I think it's excessive. I don't think we're going to hit these two. I'm confident we'll hit this, potentially. That's the 30-minute that we're working on right now. This is closed within, what does the hour say? Yeah, we closed within this. If this is the up candle, I think it is, which this says it's the 2 o'clock candle. Let's go ahead and move over here. 2 o'clock candle is a down candle, but the 1:30 is an up candle. General move, up, down, high, boom, there. The move was up here. So this makes sense. On this chart, here's our high. Right? Down, up, here's our low. Did it close within that range? No, it closed up higher. So, breaker block failed. It didn't break structure, though. What about the NASDAQ? Let's see what NASDAQ has. 132. It's the same thing. The move was up from this low to this high. Closure within. Actually. You ever have that moment where your brain just throws everything out the left ear? Yeah, that's exactly what just happened right there. I had the idea that a breaker block was formed and that it was going to continue. And I was going to reflect from the lower time, or from the hour on down, so that way the picture would be painted a little bit easier. But again, everything just got thrown out the left ear. I don't know where it went. Sorry. Absolute brain stoppage there. Thought process was this was the move up. Cool. Failed retrace. Move down. Move up. This, on the higher time frame, was supposed to form a breaker block, which works. What we're waiting on is an order block breakout. So this move down will need to break below this in order for it to continue on down. A key level needs to be hit, though. What key level am I looking for? Well, we have a fair value gap at the moment. Assuming in the next 33 minutes this closes the way it is, we'll have a fair value gap saying it'll continue higher. How much higher? We've already determined our key levels throughout this. Do we have a 4 hour? No, we marked that. From this high up to this right here. This is the hourly. This is the hourly fair value gap, and then this right here is the 4-hour fair value gap. Stops right there. And then, of course, the high outside of it on the 30-minute. Yeah, the high just outside on the 30-minute. That's where it could be targeting within that. I think what's going to happen is it's going to manipulate this right here. Because, take a look at this, right? We have failed retrace, move down from the high to the low. This closes within. If price continues higher the way it does, what's going to happen, what I think is going to happen, is it's going to break structure temporarily enough to close this gap, fill it completely. And after it's closed and filled this gap, it's going to stop, close within this here, and then move further down. How much further down? I think it's going to hit this, to be completely honest. It's manipulated this right here. It's on its retrace back up. I feel like it's going to be a long. It's going to come up to this, manipulate, close, move down. In what time frame fashion that's going to be, I have no idea. Because right now we're in a strong move up, and with the fair value gap saying we're moving higher. On the NASDAQ, no fair value gap whatsoever. So we might not be continuing higher. We have a small fair value gap right there. Let's actually do the same thing here, because move up, boom. So this will be the bottom, or actually the top of that here. Okay. And then on the 4-hour, we don't have a fair value gap right there. We don't have a fair value gap in any of this, actually. We broke structure here, but that's about it. We had a failed retrace after this sweep. We had moved down, retrace, failed, moved down. Now we're looking for an order block to, or a breaker block to form. Close outside of. I don't know. Maybe we got the order block right here. Maybe this right here is the order block on the 4-hour, because we had a move down, failed retrace to push price higher. This was this is what looks to me like a classic breaker block setup, but it failed because we broke structure out of this. So on the 4-hour, it could be a fake out on the lower time frames. This could be our order block, because it swept that low, and up until this point, we've been up in an uptrend. It disrespected the fair value gap, sure, saying price would continue lower, but because this was a breaker block that was disrespected, and now we have an order block that's formed, we could be seeing the liquidity sweep to go even higher. The daily is still in an uptrend. Nothing's changed about that. We've strong uptrend. Nothing's broke structure within this. So tricky. Do we have news? I'm gonna do this. 8:30 just came through. I want to wait 30 minutes ish. So about 9, that'll calm down a little bit. Okay, about 9 it'll calm down. Let's see. We have this here. Let's go. I don't know. I think we're in for an interesting little move. This has not created a new high yet on the hour. What about the 30? 30 hasn't created a new high either. We have yet to break structure on the NASDAQ. So, realistically speaking, NASDAQ says we're still in a downtrend. But the S&P says now we're in an uptrend. Divergence. This is not a fair value gap. This is an order block. Just FYI. I want to pause this. I'm going to pause the video. Okay? I'm going to pause it completely. Because right now, we're at a mix-up. The charts have diverged in such a way. One's giving me mixed signals, and the other is giving me a clear picture. I think I'm in the right by using the NASDAQ to predict what the S&P is going to do, but there's a problem because of the S&T divergence, right? I'm going to keep using that phrase because that's literally how it's described in my notes. When one chart makes a higher high while the other one makes a lower high, or a higher low, a lower low, right? When the charts diverge, I can use one for the other, only for that time frame. Everything else is separate, right? And it's not even a confluence I can use, if that makes any sense. I'm waiting for one of the two I'm waiting for them to line back up in confluences in order to determine which one I'm going to trade on. I'm going to trade on the S&P. If the NASDAQ paints a more clear picture, I'm going to step away. But if the S&P can line back up in time and continue in the direction it's wanting to go in, whatever direction it might display here soon, right now it's an uptrend, that's going to be something I look at in depth and really get into the nitty gritty of. I feel like right now, though, it's best if I stop what I'm doing, pause, because it's been 30 minutes. It's currently 8:43. We are in pre-market, as far as I'm concerned. News hit for the 8:30 candle. We're waiting till 9 for that to come through. Market doesn't open till 9:30. 10 o'clock, we have another news candle hitting. That's prime time. That is prime time for where we're supposed to be trading for the day. So I feel as though not news bias, but general flow of market, general flow of price is what we need to be looking at here. And it's going to be based on confluence as a key level that's going to determine whether or not we trade in a long or a short on the S&P. And we're going to be using the NASDAQ to see exactly what it wants to do. So the end result is us coming out on top of this trade. I feel like that is the smartest decision to make right now. It's a risky one, but it's a smart one. Do we break structure? No, we have not. We're on NASDAQ now. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave this on the S&P because we see our take profits, our key levels throughout this. We know what this is going to do. We see it. We have a fair value gap here saying it'll continue higher, so that's what I'm thinking it's going to do. Right now, that's the only confluence I see outside of that S&T saying price is going to go higher on the S&P. I'm going to leave these two completely deferred. So you see NASDAQ on live price action and you see the S&P on 10 minutes behind. We're going to use the live action of NASDAQ to determine what the S&P is going to do. And we'll see it on TradingView before anything else. Again, NASDAQ does not have that fair value up there, so there is no real sign of continuation on this leg up. We're solely at the mercy of what the next confluence is, whatever it might be. I'm going to pause the video now. I'm going to step away. Let's see what happens, shall we? Okay, so we just broke structure here on the NASDAQ. We are in an uptrend. However, that might just change here in a couple of seconds. We gotta see. S&P's broke structure previously. I'm not entirely sure what this is. We have an S&T. I mean, it technically has created a higher high. Order block, I guess? Market's open right now. Do we have news? Did news pop up? Not yet. Just we're on the same page. If the greater is actual is greater than forecast is good for currency, so this is greater than this, price goes up. But because it's -7 to -2, that is up. So price could continue higher based on news. Reaction to news potentially down. We did not, so we broke structure here. We're in an uptrend for this. This means nothing if it closes and then continues higher. NASDAQ, on the other hand, is a little bit more weird. It's doing the weird thing now. Unlike the S&P painting the clear picture it is, NASDAQ says, no, we just broke structure for a second time. If this closes in the next 30 minutes, this break of structure puts us in a downtrend, continuing this general move. This will also, if this closes and we get another candle going up, this will result in us getting a fair value gap. Fair value gaps are signs of continuation, and as such, we will be treating that like it's that. Just so we're on the same page. Have we had a key level hit? Technically on the S&P, yeah. Right here. But that wasn't market open. This is. Right here. So, now we're waiting. Patiently. This is the waiting game. Waiting game with actual events happening. Because we have a mix-up in candles here, which I'm assuming is a failed breaker block. We had a failed retrace back down to continue it lower, right? Break of structure out of it, order block, sweep of that low if it closes below. And a fair value gap presented on a high time frame, which actually helps us out a little bit. I'm going to leave this right here. I've got a YouTube video playing right here. You guys can't see it. That's on purpose. I don't want it to mess with the video. So, that's the thing. Good, it's not capturing. Good. Hold. Okay. So S&P, we technically have a key level hit, but I'm not going to look at that yet. Because that's not a high that hit that. That is legit. The price went up. Cool. It's moving down. Wait. That is the game I'm playing. Wait. I think we're going to get a fair value gap off of this. This is on the 30-minute, by the way. Let's look at what the hour says. Fair value gap says here and here, continue higher. It's done that. We broke past this high here. We're in an uptrend. This down here gives us an inverse fair value gap. So, I think I'm wrong because it'll be a reversal. Sweep of the high here. Cool. Price manipulated this to retest this. Hello. Relative equal, not highs, but you get the point. It retested this level here. It cleared. And then we see it push down. This will invert this. What about the 4 hour? What does the 4 hour say? Strong downtrend, no fair value gap, no fair value gap. So right now it's working off of the hour. Right now we have a fair value gap that's currently being inverted. The inverse of this fair value gap says price is actually going to continue lower on this in particular. If it does not invert this fair value gap, we're still in an uptrend, and that is going to be a failed retrace on the 30-minute. Yeah, so this is all working off of the 1 hour time frame because the hour is the only thing keeping this. So that'll be the key level we're looking for at the moment. Off of this move specifically, we're looking for the fair value gaps to be respected. The 4 hours not displaying one, the 30 minutes not displaying one. So we have to rely on the hour specifically for that key level to present itself. Because it's the way it is right now, right? Either it closes respecting this right here. I don't see how to flip this right. This is legit 4 hours. So there might be some displacement, if I had to guess. Yeah, that makes no sense. General move is up. It might be counting from this forward. Let's see what the S&P says. Same story there. on the hour. We have one fair value gap on the hour. This is a much cleaner picture. I like this a lot more than I do the NASDAQ at the moment. I think we're going to stick with this. If it respects this fair value gap and doesn't close below it, we're gold to continue higher. That's a respected fair value gap. What does the 30 minutes say? 30 minutes also got a fair value gap right there. Any other ones I'm not seeing? It's just that. So we're looking at this right here to get respected. If it's respected, then the NASDAQ's wrong. The toss-up is on this doji. We have a hammer. Hammer on the high side, which means it'll continue higher. We should be seeing... It's indecisive. It could potentially go lower. Price did go lower. It filled the orders of this, but if it closes, it's without a disrespect. So we could see it go higher. Our next candle needs to be a green candle. A respected fair value says higher. That's a key level. We're just going to leave it at that. Okay? How much higher is it going to go? I don't know. We have our key levels set up on this. So we can take profit all the way up through that. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and mark the bottom of this because it is out of range. Yeah, do the same thing there. We have 21 minutes for that to form. We have 9:38 on the clock. There's a problem. We're going to see a major... So this was major, but it's not going to be as crazy as the news that pops up from this right here. Literally speaking, news is going to hit. It's going to be that big reaction we're looking for. Oh! High time frame confluences. I keep forgetting about that. Move up, move down, failed retrace to continue higher, push down. We have 20 minutes for this to occur. Okay. High time frame confluence. About to get hit here. This is about to form a breaker block. This is going to close within this range. And if it closes within the range, while also respecting that fair value gap on the 1 hour, that's confirmed confluence of continuation. High time frame holds higher power. That being a breaker block, we might actually see it continue lower. News. I think news is going to push it low. Yeah, I think news is going to push it low. I need a back scratcher. I feel like a grizzly bear. I got an itch I just can't quite reach. The actual is greater than forecast is good for currency. There is a potential for news to be lesser than forecast, which means if, in the event, it'll align with 4 hour, right? It'll be bad for currency, which means price goes down. If price goes down and disrespects that fair value gap, but closes within range of the breaker block on the 4 hour, that aligns with our bias. On the 4-hour, that price is going to go lower. That gives us the confirmation we need. But if on the hour it respects the fair value gap and news comes around and it's not the same move down as what we're seeing right now, because the orders were filled off that fair value gap, we'll see instead a breakout of that breaker block. It'll break structure on the 4-hour, which means we could be in for a big move. Though it's got from here to clear. That's all through session highs. Take it. Ooh, hello. I mean, those are really close right there. Trend line lows throughout that. From here to here is relatively below. So this same level's been tested twice. It's been claimed up through this right here. That's trendline highs right there. Just a bunch of that. We have 15 minutes for this to close. I imagine what's going to happen is that one of the two. Either it aligns with our bias, disrespects that fair value gap, and closes within range of the breaker block, telling us continuation on the 4-hour, look for a short, or it respects the fair value gap, disrespects the breaker block on the 4-hour, breaks structure out of the 4-hour and into an uptrend, and so price would continue higher. Where would we go higher? This is the highest high outside of literally everything. We've marked every... This is the 1-hour. On the 30-minute, we've marked a little bit more. Yeah, this right here. This is the high outside session. What the world? What is going on here? We marked it here. That's all that matters. We marked it here. We have our key levels, or our take profits throughout this, and the event price decides to go from this all the way up. And keep in mind, just so you're on the same page, this right here is 10 minutes behind this right here. So subtract 10 minutes from this candle, and you'll get it being down here where it is now on the other chart. Are we on S&P for both? Yes, we are. Good. Okay. Let's go ahead and mark this. Is it the hour? It's the bottom of that. And I used this right here because this is the high on the hourly. So that's got a stronger pull than just that right there. This is the bottom, or the top of this for value gap, top of this for value gap, and then this on the 30-minute is the bottom of this for value gap specifically. So we have leg, up, top, and then potentially higher. It'll go. There is a strong possibility because we are in a downtrend at the moment. No. 30-minute, we're in an uptrend. On the hourly, we are not. On the hourly, we are in an uptrend. So right now, the 4-hour is disrespecting this. 4 hour says we're in a downtrend. But the hour says we're in an uptrend, so does the 30-minute. The two of them are aligned right now. Higher time frame holds power. Higher power, I think majority vote is also a thing. 13-minute, hella price movement. Disrespecting, aligning with the 4-hour potential continuation down off a breaker block. It being formed gives us that mode. We would need a break of structure. We'd need it on the 5-minute. 5 minutes a completely separate thing. It's going to tell us what it wants to do. How's your day been? I'm gonna be honest, I woke up at 4 a.m. Been trying to stick to a schedule of my sleep. Trying to go to sleep at like 11 p.m., right? Wake up around 9-ish. Gives me plenty of sleep and I can actually stay awake throughout my day. So far, not so good, but not terrible either. I'm able to stay awake a lot longer than I was before. Alrighty. So I think we broke structure. That's a key level hit. 1. Outside of everything else. 2. It aligns with our stuff. Let's go to the 5-minute right quick. Yep. We have 3 minutes for that to close. We broke structure on this here. That's an order block. So from this key level hit specifically. Oh, no. It would have been this right here. That would have been an order block. Fair value gap. Continuation down. Okay, so. Rewind. Key level hit first. Break of structure. In order. From this break of structure, we're waiting on this here to close. This has got to close, and it's got to present itself as a fair value gap. Plain and simple. I think we marked. Did we mark? Here, I thought I did that work. We're going to do that as we're moving on. We're going to identify everything, enter in, potentially on a short, because right now that's the bias. It's agreeing with a 4 hour. We're in a downtrend. We're going to continue moving down. That much is defined. We have a minute for this to form. That's cool. We want to see the next candle close. This present a fair value gap. Enter. Is FOMO going to get me? I don't know, because news has yet to come out, and that's going to be a player. That's a thing. News is a thing. We got to be careful with that. Patience. Sit on the hands. Wait. Watch. We have a break of structure on the 5 minute. That's confluence number 1. Number 2, fair value gap. Breaker block, order block, or within equilibrium. We need price to come back up. We need to see that fair value gap form. We have to see it form. That's the second confluence. That's what I'm going to go with. We have a minute. Just so we're on the same page, because this will be that candle, not the 15, 30. Here. You see that break of structure on the high time frame there. The hour, see the same thing, break of structure. It inverted that fair value gap. 4 hour, you can also see it there. We didn't just break structure, we fell even lower, aligning with the 4 hour. That's got to close. It says we have 5 minutes. That's on the 1 hour. Hello, 5 minute. Boom. That closed. We're gold. That works. This candle's got to close. This candle's got to close, and we have news immediately after. We need to make sure the following move is respecting of this. So we need a fair value gap, and then we need a break of structure off of the following moves. Either that or an inverse fair value gap off of the following moves on the 1 minute. From the 1 minute, we take entry, take profit, stop loss. It pushed price lower. Right now, everything's pointing down. minutes. I think we got equilibrium. We have fair value gap and price that came within equilibrium. We're waiting on the break of structure news. That's an inverse for value gap we could enter off of right there. Are we in? Chat, are we in comment section? This is on the 1 minute. Let's confirm it with the 5 minute. That's got to close. It's got to give us a fair value gap. Anything can change in 20 seconds. We have news coming up as well. We need to watch out for that. Okay, that's confirmed. 1 minute. Inverse for value gap. Do we have break of structure up here, down? We need no inverse for value gap. Okay, we're in a short. Comment section. We're in a short. Okay. Boom. My stop loss is getting put right up here. Might take profit. I need to figure this out real quick. I don't. So if we go to the 30 minute, there's a fair value gap and relative equal that target there. I think we'll start with that. So we'll go to the 30 minute. I think that right there would have been it. That's not a risk reward I want to see. I did not see that. That could be a strong set for liquidity right there. However, at the same time, I'm looking at it and going, I don't know. Because I'm looking, right? This is, we need to do this. We need to do this right here. That's where we entered. That's what the same. There. That's the low outside of session. Marked the one after that. That's the low. Fair value gaps there. That's the fair value gap. Marked in between that, at the top of that. So that would have been that. I think I'm good setting up where I am. Is it going to hit all the way down there? I doubt it. But there is a potential for that to be a thing. News is also a thing. Let's go to the 5 minute. See what's happening with news. We did not break structure there. We entered on an inverse for value gap. Let's go to news. Negative 20. If it's greater than forecast, it's good for currency. That is a stark difference. Holy crap. Okay. News came in swinging. Golly. Negative 20. We're about to see a leap, I think. What's NASDAQ doing right now? NASDAQ is in the dirt. Golly. Okay. Okay. Dial it back. Discipline. Humbleness. Work. Let's go to the hour real quick. Let's see what this is targeting on the hour. We have our take profit set way to flip down there. That's a strong pull, don't get me wrong, but it's not one that I'm comfortable with. Our stop loss is right there. We move down into this. We have no fair value gap within this outside of what we just got through, right? Move further down. The next step is an order block, the top of and the bottom of. So let's do this. Let's do this right quick. We have top of this, boom. Bottom of this, boom. That's an order block. We have fair value gap right there. Could hit. We have a low there. It could hit. And from that, it's just a pull all the way down to that. Okay. So let's look. Let's relook. Let's reconfigure. Let's see stuff. Okay. From the get-go, we had a bias on the 4-hour that said breaker block, but it was broke out of with a move down. The 1-hour confirmed it through a disrespected fair value gap, inverting it, saying price would actually continue lower. Cool. From the 4-hour, we see that move down. Cool. There is no fair value gap within this. It's just a straight line down. We have a draw there that's actually been hit, and we're going to see it, I think, continue lower. That's the bias at the moment. The 4-hour says down. The 1-hour currently says down through an inverse fair value gap. That was one of our key levels, and our second key level, which was the low of London session, both got hit at the same time. We moved to the 30-minute just to really dial in. We had an inverse fair value gap and a break of structure, as well as a fair value gap saying it'll continue lower. Cool. From there, we moved to the 5-minute and really dial in on our confluences. Figure out everything we need to know as it stands. We had a break of structure. Down, up, low, break. We did not count this as a fair value gap. That's why we did not enter up here or within this. We instead entered over here because this was our break of structure, and we waited for this candle here to close to give us that fair value gap that we were after. We used equilibrium to reconfirm that fair value gap being respected. It was. In fact, price went back up to the 0.382 mark and respected it, showing that price was going to continue lower, confirming double down that fair value gap was a continuation confluence. From there, we moved to the 1-minute, and what we did was we waited a little too late, but we nailed roughly the same price range. We had a fair value gap form here, we had an inverse fair value gap, and then we waited for this fair value gap to get closed below. It got closed below. We waited a couple more candles to reconfirm it on another chart. We nailed it, got it within price range. We're just now breaking structure back to the upside. We're waiting for it to do its thing and continue on down. When this closes, it'll be within range of literally all of this. And if I'm not mistaken, on the 5-minute, that'll form us a breaker block from here to here. From this high to this low, it'll close within range and then plummet back down. This will be our order block, and the fair value gap will reign true, and it will drop like a rock again. I think we did pretty good with identifying this. I'll shut the music up right quick so I can hear my own thoughts, because I think I've been kind of loud up to this point. You guys have been getting like piano music. I've been getting electrifying DJ mode. I think we did pretty good with this. I want to pause the video. I want to walk away. I want to really like let this sit and simmer. Am I confident in this? Yes. There is a decent risk to reward. Let's go ahead and pull that up on Trading View, actually, because we entered on 1 minute over here. We entered on that candle specifically, so that works. We're in a short position. We entered roughly, because this was inverted, so we entered roughly in that. Our stop loss is here. Our take profit, the one we're after specifically, let's go to 30 minutes so we can see it. So, not a good one. That's not a good one, comment section. That is far from good. That's very far from good. But we have take profits set up within this to look at, to look for, and on Trade Locker specifically, we have the same setup within this here. The one is still down there, but this is still set up. Again, I know this is probably a leap. I'm looking for this to get hit, and then we'll leave, right? I don't care anything about down here. I'm looking for this. That's what we're looking for. Yeah. I think we did pretty good. I think we did very, very well with identifying our confluences. The bias aligns with everything. The only thing that does not align is the daily, in that it's in an uptrend. The 4-hour and the 1-hour both confirmed with each other that they are in a downtrend and that price is continuing down. So I see no reason to worry that we should stop out here. I see no worry in it. Outside of news. News was a massive, massive number. That was big. Much bigger than I was expecting. I haven't seen what the other one is. Let's see what the other one is right quick. This has absolutely more hawkish than expected. Is good for currency. That created a very large move. Source released data 1 minute earlier than scheduled. So this was released a minute early. And that, if I'm not mistaken, would have been, let's see, news released on 10. It was released 1 minute early. So this right here would have been the candle it would have affected. And so it put price back down. That's okay. That's cool. It's all right. I'm going to pause the video now, because this is what we did. This is what we lined up with. I think we did a great job. I think I did a great job. Now it's a matter of sitting back and waiting for it to do its thing. There's not much else for me to do outside of sit and wait. So that's what I'll do. We'll go with 5 minutes on this just so you guys get a good picture as well. We'll leave that the way it is. We had a consolidation, break of structure. We identified everything within this that was needed. We did pretty good. I think we did pretty good. I understand where I need to look for breaks of structure at on both charts. I understand what could happen if this winds up being the wrong call and news affects it that badly. Like, that was a big number. I'm expecting a large reaction from it. A large one. I'm going to be watching the chart for the next 30 minutes because that was a very large move. But I'm going to pause the video to save you guys some time so you can skip to the good part. Hey, did we win? Hey, did we lose? What happened where? Let's discuss and move forward. Outside of that, I'll be right back. If you're enjoying the video so far, consider giving a like, subscribe if you're new on the comeback and you honestly like this and you want to see more of it. Goes to show, it shows me that you guys are watching and caring enough to learn this the way I am. And honestly, if you want to share it with a friend who might understand a little better than you do, do so. I have no problem with that. Share it with them. Let them know who it is that's recording this and where I'm getting my strategy from. I typically credit that to TJR trades on YouTube. If you aren't a fan of watching me, feel free to watch him. He's made more money and has way more experience in this than I do. I would highly recommend going through his boot camp like I did multiple times to really get in this strategy if you're interested in really learning and applying it. I think I'm doing pretty good so far, and yeah, I'm looking forward to making new videos later down the line. I'm going to pause the video now. I'll be right back. Leave your comment below what you think so far of these videos. I appreciate you guys for watching. We'll be right back. Just wanted to unpause. Nice job. Clear. Is that good? Yeah, that's good. Cool. Okay. We're recording. Good. Wanted to make something transparent, known. A little bit concerned. How concerned? A little bit. Why? One, the idea was that price would continue lower. The hourly, 30-minute, and 4-hour aligned with each other. The bias was down, the move was down. Down is the direction we chose. Let's just take a look at this from the top down. We have our 4-hour. We assume this was a failed retrace. This move down, move up, breaker block would have been filled here. Continuation down. We instead got a continued move. Not a move up, but a continued move. This right here is our retrace back up. I'm expecting it to go a little bit higher, maybe close within this here, and then reverse. On the 4-hour specifically, we have no fair value gap. It's just a move down. We are in a downtrend. For this candle here, we broke structure off of this low from a previous uptrend. We are in a downtrend at the moment. Okay? We haven't broke structure on the 4-hour. On the 1-hour time frame, we have been in a downtrend. We broke structure temporarily here, and then had news hit, inverted a fair value gap, and broke structure to the downside. We are in a downtrend on the 1-hour. We have a fair value gap that has been respected so far. We are in a downtrend on the 30-minute. Same situation, same setup. We were in an uptrend per this right here. We broke above this high. We were in an uptrend until this candle formed, inverting this oh so very tiny fair value gap and breaking structure. Downtrend. We have since seen a retrace move up, respect the fair value gap on the 1-hour and now the 30-minute. And since creating a high, we've seen it come back down. We're looking for it to continue down. Okay? Okay. What am I looking at right now? I'm looking at a retrace. One that has failed to break structure out of this. Okay. Okay. This is not a fair value gap, by the way. Like, I moved this over, I checked. This is not a fair value gap. This is legit candle. We're in a downtrend. For this move, and even on NASDAQ, we'll even go to NASDAQ here. Same story here. Huge candle down. Massive fair value gap. Currently being respected. Current move is down. We have a retrace up. No biggie. No biggie. We have doji candles on this move up saying, hey, no, we're supposed to be headed down. So down is the direction in which we are going. Okay? The direction is still there. We have not broke structure on any of these high time frames at all. Okay? You sticking with me? And there's difference between the two charts. We have a gravestone doji. Same doji here, except it's green. The direction is down. It follows the trend. There is indecision, but it's not enough to continue the trend up via this move. So in this case, it will continue down. This is the want, this is the goal, this is the desire for this chart. We can move to the 5-minute. Let's move to the 5-minute. We identified everything we needed. We identified all of it. Every little bit, all of it. We hit the key level here. We hit the high. We didn't close above it, but we hit it. Okay, no biggie. We waited for a break of structure. We got it. Cool. We got a fair value gap. Got it. Cool. from this fair value gap, we said, okay, we'll continue down. Wait for a break of structure or an inverse fair value gap on the 1 minute. We went to the 1 minute. And on the 1 minute, boom, we entered late. We had a fair value gap that was inverted. Late entry. No biggie. The thought is still down. And technically, it is down still for the higher time frames. They hold all of the power. 5 minute. We broke structure on this candle here. We were in a downtrend on the 5 minute. Okay, we created a new low, no biggie. We had a high here, cool. This high did not close above this here. Remember, a high is the wick, not the body. So we didn't close above it, not a break of structure. We didn't close above it here, not a break of structure. We have a new high here, cool. This candle broke past both of these highs. Closed above it. We've been in a small retrace ever since and have since consolidated the past hour. This is on the 5 minute, so yeah, roughly an hour or so. We've been consolidating. We're waiting on a breakout from this. There is no more news today, okay? Absolutely none. We're waiting for the continuation of this move. The fair value gap on the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and the 30 minute have been respected. All the moves say down. Nowhere else does it say up. So, on the 5 minute alone, are we in the break of structure, and we have not broke out of this yet. It's sweeping up this liquidity. No biggie. I have no problem waiting for that. It sweeping this liquidity tells me we have a few things to be concerned about. A few things. Okay? Because prices had the opportunity to move down. We missed a pretty dang big move. Okay? Pretty big. We missed it, I think. I called it. Kinda. I said price would come down into this. It sure enough did, and then consolidated throughout that. We were late. And we are now at the mercy of whatever this move is going to drop on us. There is a potential for price to continue lower. Let's say, where the heck did NSFW go? There we go. We're consolidating there. So I think it'll continue lower. Yeah, actually, I think it do. I think it will. Where we have take profit currently set to. And again, could be wrong. I think we're going to lose this trade. So I think my biggest mistake was news. Two things. One, not implementing what I did that one video a little while ago, where I described another video I saw on TJR Trades video where he went and said between 9:30 and 10:10, or 9:30 and 10:30, There's a run-up move, including news, right? Because of all the new money entering the market. And then the reaction from that. Our goal is to catch the reaction from all the new money entering the market off of open, right? And after news, 30 minutes after news. Well, market opened and news hit a minute early. Had it been a minute late, we probably would have seen this candle shoot farther down. But because it was a minute early, it allotted to this candle specifically. This candle then created its own move. This was the massive 20-point drop off of news, right? It created the fair value gap that we wanted, as well as the break of structure on all three of the higher time frames, saying yes, it'll continue lower. Okay? Because this formed, the move was already there. When we entered after news, it was based on the assumption that from the candle displayed, price would continue in its direction. And right now, that is the case. It's getting there. Okay? It's trying to go there. It's wanting to go lower. Or this candle specifically. Whether or not it will, we're about to find out. I think the trade was good. I think it's still good. We haven't broke structure on the 30-minute. We haven't broke structure on the hour either. Yeah, the hour is there. Then move down, move up. Reaction off the move down. If this closes within, which works for us, that's a breaker block and continuation with the fair value gap. From there, we should see price continue lower. Much, much, much lower. It's going to be a slow move, though. More than likely, it's going to be a very slow move. That's okay. I don't mind waiting. Just putting that out there. Do not mind waiting for it. I'm going to pause the video again. We'll let it do its thing. Because right now we're forming a breaker block. I don't know. We got 8 minutes. I'll let it roll. I'll let it do its thing. I'll let you guys watch it and see it and woo it. Okay? I'm going to listen to some music. What kind of music? I'm not entirely sure. Let me go see. I'm listening to Silos by Starset because why not? There we go. I have my music playing now. I'm gonna watch some Tiki-Talkie. And yeah, we're gonna let that play out. When this forms and is done, it's closed. And the next candle comes up, I'm gonna pause the video. I'm gonna let it do its thing. I'm gonna let it simmer. I'm gonna watch it intently. I don't know where it goes. It says 3 minute. We have leg down that we wanted to. Initial break of structure, I assume, on the 5 minute now. Let's see what the 5 minute just did. Yeah, break of structure on the 5 minute, as well as the fair value gap saying it'll continue lower. So we're going to go ahead and just leave this right where this is. Right? Okay. We're going to shrink this down. We're going to do this. Scrunch it up nice and good and leave us plenty of space for growth in either direction. I'm going to pause the video now. I'm going to let it do its thing. We're going to see where it goes. I'll unpause it when we've either gotten next to take profit or we get stopped out. And we'll go over what happened, where, when, and what we can do to do better next time. Okay? Okay. Be right back. So I went to get breakfast. Came back to this. Oof. Big, big, big oof. We have not been stopped out yet. Though the structure was broken, it seems. Is it broke on the 30-minute? Let's see what this says. Yep. On the 30, it was broken. From it, we got a fair value. So overall, I think we've lost this trade. Pretty sure we have. What could I have done better? One, I could have referenced news. Batman, I could have referenced news, Batman. I'm not going to blame news. I'm going to blame my own lack of knowledge and experience. Realistically speaking, did we do everything correctly? Almost. Before we even got to identifying confluences, we identified a trade first. We identified our bias, right? We established a direction it would go in based on previous price action, time frame confluences, and a divergence within two different charts that directly reflect each other. Okay? From that S&T, we use NASDAQ to assume, okay, price is going to go lower on the S&P. Which, up until now, has been mostly correct. Price went down and mirrored the S&P. Okay? General trend has been down this whole time. The 30 minutes is the only one that's been broken of structure. Sorry. I'm going to correct myself just a little bit. In the next 30 minutes, if price doesn't come back down the way I think it will, we will have broke structure here. Meaning we will get stopped out. I am convinced we have lost this trade. I'm convinced we did everything aside from stay absolutely confident and accurate with what news presented. News was correct. News did affect the market. That was okay. Simply put, it was fine. News affecting market had no problem. We knew there was going to be a giant red candle. What we did not know was that news was going to present itself a minute early. Typically, what happens is on this little website here, when news appears, or when it's about to, it'll have a countdown right here, right? It didn't have a countdown for this folder. Just didn't. Instead, we got a notice after it came out saying that, hey, it came out a minute earlier than scheduled. Okay. And it wasn't until after this candle had formed. The candle that it was supposed to be released on. From that, we can deduce that because it fell on the minute before, that's the reason why this candle is so large. It was news-based. Because we chose this as a confluence without anticipating news being placed on this candle, our short position is no longer legitimate because this is news-based. This is not 30 minutes ahead. Yes, you can make the argument, yes. This is 30 minutes ahead, but there's a problem. This trade, this short took place immediately after this candle closed. The minute after. Quite literally speaking. Because we took the trade immediately after this closed, we didn't wait for the reaction off of news. And so, because the reaction from news was, hey, we don't like to go lower, we want to go higher, we have our break of structure. This should have been enough in this. We should have seen this occur. Is there anything else we could have really done? We couldn't have been earlier. The key level was hit before we even entered, before market opened. On the hour, this right here hit, and this was like really early. We go to the 30 minute, and it was just dancing around here, and then it just crashed through the floor. And legit, 1 minute of this was news. That's legit a huge part of this candle. If we consider that the key level hit right here, we would have assumed, hey, price wants to go higher. Instead, because we not only got this, but because of news crashing through the floor, we messed up. I messed up reading this. So, my takeaway from this, on news, at news, around news, expect the candle to fluctuate, 1. And 2, if it meets both a high and a low, assume the former. Because we were in an uptrend before news hit. And it was because of news that we broke out of that trend. The reaction from news at that point, based on the breaker structure, would be in the reverse. Expect it to reverse off of news. That way, the anticipation, the thought of a higher time frame holding that power isn't necessarily going to be correct. We broke structure, we haven't been stopped out yet, ergo the trade idea is still valid. Assuming the next couple of candles can break past this fair value gap, inverting it, and break past this low here, breaking structure off of this now uptrend. The goal is down. We want it to go down. I also think I was wrong about the doji. Because we had a breaker block set up, right? Retrace, failed retrace to continue lower, move up reaction, doji in decision making, right? From this doji being the way it is, it wasn't as strong of a reaction as we'd like for it to continue lower. And so price broke structure out of it. And due to this indecision, it broke structure long enough to manipulate past this low, and at which point it pushed higher, breaking past these highs, sweeping these relative equal highs, and pushing up here. We now see price within this. I imagine the hour looks like, yeah, it's come back down a little. It's within that fair value gap. We broke structure on the hour. That's done and said now. It's in line with the 30-minute. 4 hour we have not broke structure on, but at the same time, because I know price is going to continue higher based on this right here, I think we're going to get it stopped out. It sucks to admit, but I am wrong in this instance. Aside from that note on news, everything else was right. I mean, we did pretty good at calling the confluences as they appeared throughout news. Oh well. Let it play out. Actually, you know what? I'll do this. I'll pause the video so that way it's a little bit less time you have to watch. I'll pause it, let it play out. If we get stopped out, I'll pause it briefly. Hey, we got stopped out. This is what happened. Exit the video. If we don't get stopped out, learning curve, learning moment. Patience is needed. We currently have it set up to where we're breaking even because I'm pretty sure we failed this trade. Either we lose or we break even. I'm happy with either. It's a learning moment, so we're learning from that. Tomorrow's going to be a better day because we will have learned from this mistake. Sucks too. Alrighty, so we were stopped out. Had a feeling that was going to happen. I was watching NASDAQ form. I guess we pushed beyond that. We got stopped out. We lost a lot. How much did we lose off of that? We lost 30 cents. That hurts to look at. Man. Where did we go wrong? Comment section. Where did we go wrong? First off, I'm going to say news. We didn't wait. We should have. Second off, when we broke structure here. When we actually, when we saw this doji here, up here. Are there any notes I could really take from this outside of news? I mean, that was a dumb mistake. I should have been able to catch that before it was too late, but Tuesdays. Comment below what you think. What could I have done to improve this? This was a failure of a trade. Hope you guys enjoyed. We have 3 more days to trade. Let's actually check that right quick. Wednesday we can trade. Thursday, unemployment, PMI, new homes. Thursday we could trade, though it's going to be very risky. And Friday we could trade. So we have 3 days this week remaining that we can trade. And the hope is that we can somehow make that back. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, can't trade that day. Thursday, July 31st, final day of July, we have CPI. So we have 5 days remaining of the month we can trade. At the end of this week, I'm going to show a little whiteboard that I've put up. Regardless of the outcome, I'm going to show it because it needs to be shown. And yeah. Changes are on the horizon. Potentially sooner over than later. I'll see you guys in the next video.